It's night one of the 2024 NFL Draft, but Howie Roseman said, you know what? We're going to send a ripple effect across the entire National Football League, and we're going to make some news before Caleb Williams goes number 1 overall to the Chicago Bears, most likely, because we're recording this before the official start of the draft. The Philadelphia Eagles have signed A.J. Brown to a massive contract extension. All of the rumors of A.J. Brown getting dealt, him being unhappy that he wanted out of Philadelphia, you can throw him out of the window, and now Philadelphia, for the foreseeable future, has an offensive core locked up of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, this offensive line, and Howie Roseman continues to make things happen during Howie's season. That's why they call him Howie Houdini. Before we talk about this huge contract extension for one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League, this is why you subscribe to the show for nonstop coverage all offseason long. Videos coming your way every single day right here on the program. Adam Schefter breaking the news right in the lead up to the 2024 NFL Draft. Another wide receiver deal in Philadelphia. Eagles and Pro Bowl wideout A.J. Brown reached agreement on a 3-year, $96 million extension that includes $84 million in guaranteed money. I believe that's the most guaranteed money for a wide receiver in the history of the NFL. And now A.J. Brown, with an average annual value of $32 million, as indicated with this report from Schefter, he becomes the highest paid wide receiver per year in the history of the NFL. And this is yet another indication and another example of the wide receiver market being reset. And a couple of things led to this. First of all, Howard Eskin, 94 WIP, had reported on the airwaves in Philadelphia earlier on Thursday that a deal was being talked about and a deal was in the works for A.J. Brown to be a long-term Eagle, but also Amon-Ra St. Brown getting that huge deal. Devontae Smith got $25 million per year on that contract extension from Philadelphia 2 Mondays ago, which tied him with A.J. Brown on average annual value. So you felt as though a deal was going to come at some point soon for A.J. Brown. If not, when he demanded a new contract, he was going to demand a lot of money. And I think that this is a worthwhile play and a worthwhile investment for Philadelphia. You invested $50+ million per year in your young quarterback in Jalen Hurts. He's close with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is close with Devontae Smith, and you want to keep this offensive core together. You have one of the best offensive lines in the National Football League, even though Jason Kelce retired, and we'll see what Philadelphia does on night 1 of the draft if they try to fortify guard or offensive tackle to try to shore up that depth, or take a Lane Johnson replacement, or getting starting guard right now who could take over for Lane Johnson. And then you have this offensive contingent of Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, that offensive line, Dallas Goedert, a really talented all-around tight end who's one of the best in the league at his position. You have one of the best wide receiver duos in the National Football League in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And you have Saquon Barkley, and you could add to that offensive arsenal during the NFL draft as well. And looking ahead, Philadelphia still has a lot of cap space. And we'll see how this deal impacts the books. But even going into the draft, Philadelphia had $28 million in cap space. And what this essentially does, with 2 years left on A.J. Brown's deal, you're able to backload his contract a little bit to further open up maybe some more cap space now and have some of that financial flexibility, which is really important for Philadelphia. And that's what Howie Roseman really does value on the books, pulling off these financial gymnastics and trying to basically manipulate the cap to a certain degree. More on A.J. Brown coming up and why the Philadelphia Eagles are extending him. But first, our sponsor for this breaking news segment is Game Time, the only ticketing app that I use, because they're not going to hit you with a bunch of ludicrous fees. They're actually going to help you save money because you get the best seats at the lowest price guarantee, but the prices drop as the event gets closer. So if you're a busy guy like me, covering the NFL draft every single day, every single round, every single pick. Sometimes you don't know what the future holds. It's hard to make plans when I'm also covering the NBA playoffs. So if I want to go to a sporting event at the last moment, if I want to go to a comedy show, a concert, a theater event like the Blue Man Group, I'm able to make that last minute decision, and I'm able to get in the door at the lowest price guaranteed. But also, you can get $20 off if you use the code CHATSPORTS. You want to go to a 76ers Knicks playoff game, Philadelphia Phillies game, you can do that. Code CHATSPORTS, last minute tickets. I like how on this app you can see the vantage point from those seats in addition to the price point. We will put all of this information down below in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. We appreciate Game Time for making our show possible. And it's kind of fitting that on night one of the draft, this A.J. Brown contract extension is agreed to when in the draft 2 years ago, that's when Philadelphia traded for A.J. Brown. And they, upon completing that trade, signed him to that 4-year, $100 million deal. But over the last 2 years, and his only 2 years in Philadelphia, not only has he had arguably the two most productive seasons for a wide receiver in franchise history, he has turned that contract into a bargain for Philadelphia, which is why now he overtakes Tyreek Hill for the highest paid wide receiver per year in the National Football League. What A.J. Brown has been able to do throughout his career and in his 2 years in Philadelphia has been very, very impressive. A second-round pick out of Ole Miss by the Tennessee Titans in 2019, year one as a rookie. You want to tell me that rookies can't produce from the jump at the wide receiver spot? A.J. Brown did that. 84 targets, 52 catches with Ryan Tannehill as his damn quarterback, 8 touchdowns, and then year two, 70 catches on 106 targets as a sophomore in the league, 11 touchdowns. There was a dip in production in 2021 when he had 63 grabs, 869 yards. He wanted to get paid. Tennessee did not want to pay him. And then a couple of years later, they give Calvin Ridley $23 million per year, and he can't even come close to what A.J. Brown is as a player. So he gets traded to Philadelphia. Year one, Birds make it to the Super Bowl, and he was an all-pro player, and he set the record for the most receiving yards in franchise history. 88 catches, 145 targets, nearly 1,500 yards. And last year, he had that incredible stretch where he had 5-6 games of 100-plus receiving yards. And in a down year for the Eagles offense, he still tallied 158 targets, 106 grabs, nearly 1,500 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He is entering his age 27 season. This will take him up until his age 31 season. This is a worthwhile investment for a player who has earned it. And my goodness, he reset the wide receiver market once again. And for people watching our NFL draft coverage, because we're also live on the 49ers Report, a lot of you were saying, well, hold on. Can't the Niners afford 2 wide receivers at $25+ million per year? They can. And if they don't, they're just not being as aggressive, and they're not investing in their offense, because I think offense wins over defense in today's NFL, like Philadelphia is right now, just going all in right here for Howie Roseman and company. Another reminder, subscribe to the show, and if you're watching this right now, we're live for the 2024 NFL Draft. A.J. Brown, huge contract extension to stay with Philadelphia for the foreseeable future.